The detention cell was cold and unwelcoming, its dim lighting casting long, eerie shadows across the cracked concrete walls. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of dampness and isolation. A single flickering bulb dangled from the ceiling, offering just enough light to reveal the hard metal bed and bare walls surrounding Leo. The bars on the small, barred window barely allowed any light in, leaving the space cloaked in an unsettling gloom. Every sound, the drip of water from a distant pipe, the shuffle of footsteps in the hallway, seemed amplified in the oppressive silence. The cell felt like a cage, trapping not only Leo's body, but his spirit as well, as stark contrast to the freedom he had just imagined through his window. Leo Anderson sat slumped on the hard, cold bench, his elbows resting on his knee, and his head buried in his hands. His fingers gripped his hair tightly, as if trying to hold himself together against the crushing weight of his situation. The room around him faded into the background, the shadows, the flickering light, the suffocating silence, all of it drowned out by the chaos swirling in his mind. He felt lost, like a ship stranded in a storm with no compass. His thoughts raced, searching for answers, for a way out. But all he could feel was the ache of desperation. For the first time, the uncertainty of the future was no longer a distant dream. It was an overwhelming, suffocating fear that wrapped around him, threatening to drown out any hope he had left. Through the small barred window in the corner of the cell, a faint beam of light filtered in, struggling to penetrate the gloom. It was thin but steady, casting a soft glow that illuminated the dust particles suspended in the air, swirling lazily as if untouched by the weight of time. The bars cast harsh, rigid shadows on the cold concrete floor, a constant reminder of confinement. Yet, in that fragile light, there was a quiet beauty, an almost imperceptible whisper of something outside, something free. The dust danced in the beam, defying the stillness of the cell, and for a moment, even in that cramped, oppressive space, the light offered a brief, silent promise that there was still a world beyond these walls. Leo Anderson slowly lifted his head, his eyes catching the faint beam of light filtering through the barred window. His chest still heavy with the weight of uncertainty, he blinked away the despair clouding his mind. As the dust danced in the light, something shifted inside him, a quiet but undeniable resolve. The fear that had gripped him so tightly began to loosen its hold. His eyes, once full of doubt and defeat, now sparked with a flicker of determination. He straightened his back, his fingers tightening into fists. Leo knew he couldn't stay lost forever. The walls around him felt less like a prison and more like a challenge he was ready to overcome. In that moment, he promised himself he would fight for his truth, his freedom, and his future.